Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now we are moving on to some international news. Russian President Vladimir Putin has called on Ukrainian troops in the Russian region of Kursk to surrender as diplomatic back and forth continues over a potential US-brokered ceasefire with Kyiv. At a meeting with members of Russia's Security Council, Putin accused Ukrainian troops in the region of committing crimes against civilians, but acknowledged US President Donald Trump's wish to spare the soldiers' lives as Russian forces are retake the area, and claimed surrendering soldiers' lives would be guaranteed.
Russian troops on the move, on the verge of ousting Ukrainian forces from the Kursk region, Moscow says, Ukraine's small and shrinking foothold inside Russia. The regiment's units were mentally prepared and waiting for this moment, the commander says. Therefore, there was enough anger, courage, bravery, and desire to win. I believe the personnel fought heroically. The Russians claiming they've encircled a large number of Ukrainian troops here, a narrative President Trump buys as well, pleading with Russian leader Vladimir Putin not to harm them. At this very moment, thousands of Ukrainian troops are completely surrounded by the Russian military and in a very bad and vulnerable position, President Trump writes on his Truth Social account. I have strongly requested to President Putin that their lives be spared. This would be a horrible massacre, one not seen since World War II. And while the Ukrainians claim reports of their forces being encircled are not true, Putin, referencing the U.S. president's plea, says he's willing to let the Ukrainians live if they give themselves up.
We are understanding of President Trump's appeal to treat these servicemen humanely. In this regard, I would like to emphasize that if they lay down their arms and surrender, they will be guaranteed life and decent treatment in accordance with international law.
After waiting for hours in Moscow before Putin finally met with him, the Trump administration's negotiator Steve Witkoff left the Russian capital in the middle of the night and in the driving rain. Russian state TV quickly declaring Putin the winner of this round of diplomacy. The highly experienced Putin simply outplayed the cornered Zelenskyy and the collective West, which was clearly in a flurry, the anchor says. And while President Trump says he wants to talk directly with Putin as soon as possible, one of Putin's closest allies, Belarusian strongman Alexander Lukashenko, addressing the U.S. president by his first name, also seemingly hitting the brakes on the administration's ceasefire plans.
Yes, Donald wants to stop the war. Thank you to him for this. But at the same time, we must firmly stand our ground. Nobody must push us aside. And God forbid to cheat us, as we now say, or to try and run circles round us.